I'm going to take one more rabbit trail. Can I take one more? It might offend you. Is that okay? But I'm trying to be honest with you. Because if you're not honest, you're in bondage. Truth makes free. One of the things that happened when I was working on my childhood, another thing, I realized I was never allowed to cuss as a kid. I wasn't allowed to cuss. If I cussed, I got soap in my mouth, and my mom would wash my mouth out with soap. I'm not a big cusser, just so you know. I'm not going to drop F-bombs here. I'm not a big cusser. I don't let my kids cuss. But what I realized for me as a little child was as I was never allowed to cuss, I would have to come up with other words that other people were comfortable with so that I could say what was going on in my heart. But because I had to come up with another word, what I was actually feeling was just shoved down in there, and I'd just release a little bit, like fudge. Like we'd be going through life and like, oh, fudge. That's a whole different, that doesn't release any of the emotional energy that's going on. Oh, shucks. Shucks. Look, if you're really hurt, really scared, really angry, and you go, oh, shucks, nothing comes out. No emotion got processed. It all just got shoved and watered. If you say, oh, fudge sickles, nothing comes out. And you keep it in there. And I was working on this stuff. I never saw so many cuss words come out of I was writing it in pen. I never saw so many cuss words. I hope you're okay with this. I cussed more on my little paper I was writing than I had in like 30-some years. It was like 30-some years of cuss words had been, 30-some years of emotions connected to cuss words were buried so deep, they all had to come out in 1 minute. And they were all coming out, and I was like, wow, I don't talk like this. But maybe the reason I don't talk like this is because I was never allowed to say what was actually going on. I had to shove what was actually going on deeper and just let out enough that everyone else was comfortable with. I don't know if you know who Brene Brown is. She's a really smart lady. She says sometimes one of the secrets to emotional health is the properly placed cuss word. I'm sorry if I cause a mess. I'm not giving you permission to just run around and use your words flippantly and use your words stupidly. I'm not giving you permission to use your words to do damage. I'm giving you permission to get rid of the damage that you never got rid of and to release the truth. And sometimes the only way to actually release the truth and release the emotion is to say what word is actually connected to the emotion. And if you don't say it, you're going to shove it down in there and it will come out and you'll walk around going, shucks, shoot, fudge, and everyone will go, nice mask. Wow, you're so fake. Where'd you go? Where are you? Why do I feel like I can't actually connect to you? Why do I feel like you're just a mannequin standing here and I can just knock on you and it's so hollow? Why do you feel so hollow? Why do you look like a mask, like a nice religious mask that just walks around and no one can actually connect to your heart? Why do you feel so disconnected from everyone in your life? Why do you have these good relationships that are all surface and no connection and no real relationship? Why don't you cry with people? Why don't you laugh with people? Why are you so religious? Because you put on this nice mask and you, oh shucks, oh shucks, oh shoot, oh darn it, dang it, shucks, fudge, oh fudge sickles. And you go, and your mask gets more and more smiley, and the makeup gets thicker and thicker, and the shell gets more and more hollow, more and more empty, And the relationships get more and more walking on eggshells. Don't hurt anybody. Don't offend anybody. Look, if you are in a place where you can get hurt, you will never feel love. Never. Why don't I feel loved? Because you're protecting yourself from reality. You're protecting yourself from pain. You're protecting yourself from hurt because you've been hurt a few times and you shoved it down in there and you went, oh, shucks. And then you just protect it deeper and deeper and you're walking around with your mannequin. I'm not giving you permission to use your words in a bad way. I'm giving you permission to freaking be honest. And get the pain out. The first guy that went through my class, he said, Seth, this dude's life is completely transformed. His family's transformed, his marriage is transformed, his business is transformed, and all we did was work on him and one of his relationships with his parents. And everything has changed for him. And he said, Seth, if the church would only do this, 90% of our problems would go away. You know why? Because so many people are going, shucks, hey brother. Except in church, we don't say shucks, so too blessed to be stressed, brother. Like, shut up. I hope you're okay with this. I know you never had a pastor come to your church and do this, and I apologize, Joel and Lauren, but they're probably not even mad at me because they're real. I just got a text last night. This dude came through our class. He texted me. He said, I worked on my relationship with my mom. And I felt like I needed to call my sister. And I called my sister and had a 3-hour conversation with her. And I haven't had a 3-hour conversation with my sister. It was the most real conversation I've had in a really long time. And then my mom called me. And I was telling her about my conversation with my sister because my sister told her about her conversation with me. And he said, me and my mom had a conversation. We haven't had a real conversation in 10 years. We just had a real conversation for the first time. And he's texting me last night while I was here. And he's like, I'm so thankful. Oh, you have a real relationship again. You know, it's just interesting. Like, Jesus is kind. But when he needed to say what he needed to say, he said it. Sorry, I'm on another rabbit trail, and I know lunch is coming. But I'm going to feed you something better than lunch. You know, Jesus was very kind when he said, brood of vipers. He was very loving when he said, whitewashed tombs, full of dead men's bones. That's what religion will do to you. That's what pretending will do to you. That's what rejecting honesty will do to us. Make us dead men's bones in whitewashed tombs. Broods of vipers, a place where serpents populate, recreate, a place where serpents just come out of. Hell on earth. I told one client, this client's so great, I told her, I said, just so you know, I'm giving you permission to cuss. If that's the only word that will connect to what you felt as a child, I'm giving you permission to do it. She said, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do that. Okay, just want you to know you have permission. If that's the only word that will actually properly get out the emotions. Oh, you hurt me, I forgive you. Yeah, rage, anger, hatred, bitterness, wrath, malice, buried, planted, watered. I said, if that's the only word, if a cuss word's the only thing that can get it out, please, you better say it. You're going to go through here and wonder why it didn't work. It didn't work because you didn't show up. I don't know if you know this, but honesty is really important to God. God would rather have an honest prostitute washing his feet than a religious Pharisee eating dinner with him. He loves the honest prostitute. And he lets that religious Pharisee have it in a kind and loving way. The religious prostitute is like, the honest prostitute is like, let me wash your feet. And the religious Pharisee is, how do I kill you? Having dinner with him. Oh, thank you for breaking bread. Jesus, thank you for breaking bread here. And inside, how do I kill you? How do we kill you? How do we kill this guy? Pretending like they're eating with him, having conversations around God. But the whole time, they're planning something else. And the prostitute's just there being totally honest and washing his feet. He says, this is really important. Who can ascend the hill of the Lord? He who has clean hands and a pure heart. If a heart's not honest, the heart can't be pure. And he put a pure heart in you. But if it's not honest, you let impurities back in. Okay, I'll come back from that. No, I just had to say all that. And I don't apologize.